Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this live stream, I'm gonna talk about SMR, MRAM, LUNR, Apple, Google, and GME. But quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I am Ghosty, and after navigating multiple market cycles, I have learned that logic and clear signals beat hype and narrative every time. On this channel, we skip the noise and go straight into the charts, the data, and the key factors that build my thesis. No fluff, no filler, just the alpha. So let's get straight into it. So as you guys have seen my previous videos, I was telling you guys we have a strong support here, so it was likely we were gonna get the bounce. And I was telling you this is my buy zone, so I always tell you that we could have potentially gone lower, so I have the tendency of sizing in slowly as price is moving down into my buying zone. So we got the bounce we were expecting, and right now we're retesting this previous support that's now resistance. So I want to see how this reacts, because if we have a rejection from here, we probably could potentially do a retest of this low or even go much lower. But if we reclaim this area, I could see more bullish price action, and we can test upper resistance zones. So I'm gonna be watching that really closely. But congrats to anybody that got here. We got 20% bounce in 6 days, 6 to 5 days. So that's a really good return. So let's go quickly to MRAM. So the same mentality here. I was waiting. I was doing videos like over here that more downside was likely. We indeed got the downside we were expecting. We tested the gap fill here and started to bounce. So this one also had a good bounce in just a short amount of time. So 22% bounce. Already took some profits, and I'm gonna leave some to see if we can go higher. The same thing with LUNR, but this one was a little bit different because the spike we got out of the bounce wasn't as strong. So we had a 50% bounce on this one. So right now we are rejecting, and we're already rejecting from the key resistance we have over here. So that's something that on SMR is not happening. We're testing it, but we were not rejecting, and on this one we're rejecting it. So on this one I think we're gonna go lower, and we're gonna get to $11 potentially. So I will be watching this really close to start accumulating longs for another potential short-term bounce. So now that this is out of our way, let's go and check Apple, right? If you saw my previous Apple video, I said, guys, this is a zone that we should expect rejection, like high probability of a rejection to the downside. So we got our pullback, we got our 4% pullback, which might not sound a lot, but if you can buy put options over here, you can maximize potential gains. So that's what I do with my members. So if we take a now, let's analyze Google. So I'm seeing some interesting potential buying zones on Google, especially if we head down. Well, actually there's a gap fill over here, so we could probably test this gap first, right, and get a small reaction to the upside. But in reality, I'm waiting to see if we can fill this gap over here. And there's also a lot of price structure. There's a lot of demand here in this zone. So if we get that retrace into this area, I'll be looking to accumulate Google as we go, because from the all-time highs, basically we have already dropped 20%, and if we get over here, that will be a 26% drop to the downside from the all-time highs. So I want to be looking at that, and not only that, I want to take a look at Google versus NDX, which is the Qs taking away financial. So let's take a look at this really quick. So what am I seeing? I'm looking for more confluence. So basically, what does pair means? This, if we compare Google versus the Nasdaq, and this goes up, this basically means Google outperformed the Nasdaq in this amount of time. So if both went up, basically this means that Google had a higher percentage return, and the contrary is it applies to the same. In this time around, Google underperformed the NDX. So what am I looking now? There is a gap fill here. There's a gap here that this potentially is going to get filled. There's a gap over here as well, but I'm looking this zone. So if we get a reaction from here, I'll expect eventually we get over here, and once we get over here, there's a high probability, because besides this chart structure, if I take my Fibs, there's also a key Fibonacci area over here, which is the 786 886 zone. So this area, if price gets here on the pair, there's a like probability we're gonna get a bounce, and this would be the outperformance that I want to see in Google versus the NDX. So once the price on Google potentially gets over here and the price on the pair gets there, that will be I'll have more probability of Google outperforming for a short-term potential bounce, potentially even retesting eventually this zone. So that's something I'm looking for. And just to finish the video, I'm gonna take a look at GME, because a lot of people are DMing me and asking me what are my thoughts on GM. So I did an analysis. Right now I'm just seeing constant rejection, because if you guys see, this price reacted into this zone. So this was support, and it's now resistance, because see all of the, we bounced over here, we went down, we broke it, we're rejecting it. So what I would do is, I wouldn't buy GME right now. We're on a high time frame descending channel or bearish flag formation. So what I want to see is an eventual flush to the downside to this area, because this area has a lot of demand. So if I take a Fib from the lows to the highs over here, let me pull this up to a wick. So we have the 786 886 zone. So there's a big area of support, and we also have, see, we bounced from here, we bounced from here, we reacted here, reaction here. So there's a lot of reaction in this area. So what I would do is I would just wait, be patient, let's analyze other indicators. Actually, if we can see here the volume gap profile, there's a lot of massive selling wall just above, and we have had a high, lower high, lower high. We're creating lower highs, so I expect more downside for GME, but on a high time frame, once potentially price gets over here, I want to see how this reacts, because descending channels tend to break to the upside. So because we know GME has a tendency of occasionally having these volatile spikes to the upside, we could potentially get one from get one potentially, I think, even in 2027. But I see more downside potential first for the reasons stated. So if you guys enjoyed this video, this live stream, please subscribe to my channel, share, comment, and I have still 6 spots remaining for my free Discord community. Follow me on X and DM me